Okay. So now we go that way. Yes. All right. Hello, everybody. My voice is starting to come back, but it's still not great. So I apologize in advance, but I'm excited that you're here and looking forward to painting and getting some more done on this ornament. So I'm adding the last bit of swoops down around here, and then that should finish it off fairly well. Hi, Patty. How you doing? Thanks, love. Hi, Jan. Excuse me. So sorry, you guys. All right. So I'm not quite sure. I think actually what I'll do is we'll do some last minute dots around the edge out here. We'll keep going. Hi, Terry. Hi, Elise. Hi, Sarah. I know I was just sounding pretty good for a little while too. I was able to talk a bit more, but apparently it is not sticking. It's really getting frustrating, but I'm feeling better today than I did yesterday, and I will survive. How are you guys doing, Sarah? How are you feeling? Are you still sick? What's new, you guys? What you guys get up to today? Jan and Patty. Elise, how you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Terry, been painting like crazy today? This is going to be a bit of a slow-moving process because I'm changing colors all over the place. But we'll do the best that we can. This is a variation on this design that I first did on some black ornaments. And if you guys have been on some of these lives, you'll know that that's one of my favorite color combos. I did another ornament in the same color combo with the paw print. I love that one too. These make me so happy. There are downloadable patterns on my website for if you want to have step-by-step instructions to paint either of these designs along with the colors. And the ornaments themselves are in my website as well. And I fell in love with these ornaments, these huge ones. So this is the normal size, whatever that means. And then there's behemoths. So these are super freaking fun. So we're going to fill that up really well. All right, let me scroll back. If you're new to my lives, please know that while I'm painting, I can't see the screen. So what I'll do is I will pause every once in a while to come back and read your comment. I try not to miss anything. So if it takes me a minute to get to your comment or question, just please know I'm not ignoring you. It just takes me a minute. You had it about 10 days? All right, today's day 9. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Sarah. That's good. Hi, Sue. I'm doing okay. I've been better, but I've been worse, so I'm doing all right. I did get a chance to sit down and do some painting this afternoon, which was nice. I worked on this a little bit, and I finished off another set of ornaments. These dudes. Finish them off. So we're just going to keep plugging away here. Hi, Carol. Thank you. Alex and Danny came. Oh, nice. That's wonderful, Patty. And Terry has been painting all day. That's wonderful. What you been making? Elise, first market tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Oh, thank you guys. Tiff, to do the inside of them, I use, I'll show you the stuff that I use. A lot of people will use Minwax polycrylic. I personally use Quick Shine floor polish. So you take this and you pour it into the ornament. You take the lid off, and then you just kind of spin it around until you get every place covered. And I actually just put up a video. Actually, if you check the latest video on my profile, I just did a video with this as well, if that's helpful. So you kind of swirl the polish around, and that coats the inside. And then you empty out any excess. And then you put the glitter in, and you do the same thing. You twist it around, and then just let it dry for about 24 hours. So, Minwax polycrylic works really, really well. I've had no issues with the Quick Shine at all after multiple years later. I started using this stuff 3 years ago. This bottle cost me $7.99 at Home Depot here in Canada. And I think it's still filled up to here. It goes a long way, which is wonderful. And I haven't had any issue with any, bald spots in the glitter or anything like that. And then, but my intention is to switch to the polycrylic when I run out, just because I have heard that it's, the best thing to use. And because I've never tried it, I'm interested to see what the difference is. But this has worked really, really well for me up until now. So don't feel that you have to do that. All right, let me just scroll back. Do you have lots of inventory made up, Elise? Hi, Angie. How you doing? It's good to see you. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kel. I got your patterns and bought a bunch of ornaments. Can't wait to try them out. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, I'm so excited for you. They're so much fun. If you need any, beginner, if you're anybody's at the beginning of learning this art form, I do have a YouTube channel as well that has a tutorials playlist on there. There's 35 different tutorials in there, step-by-step, beginner up to bigger projects. So if that's helpful for you as well, definitely go and check out my YouTube. And I relooked the other day, and I've got over 300 subscribers, and I'm really excited about that. My YouTube channel is by no means full of professionally edited videos or anything like that, but there's, I think, lots of good content on there for you. Thanks, Cal. Let me know if you run into any questions, okay? On the tail end of it, Kim, hopefully anyway. Today is day 9 of being sick. I've been completely out of commission for the last week. So yesterday was the first day that I painted in a week, and I'm really, really happy to be hanging here with you guys and painting again. I cannot tell you how good it felt to sit down and paint last night. Jan uses polyacrylics. I have no intention of ever bringing floor cleaning products into my house. Girl, we're so excited. Mom and I are so excited when we finally get the new floors in the apartment. We're going to get a Roomba, and the same idea. I'm like, I'm not doing shit. Oh, okay. I'm done. Bear with me one sec. I'm just going to scroll back and keep catching up on comments. Oh, Angie, I'm glad that you're doing better, and I'm sorry that you even felt sick. That's awful. Oh, thank you, Kim. Thanks, Roll Tribe. Does DecoArt DuraClear Gloss work really well, too? Oh, does it work well, too? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Dukes. Hi, Sarah. Thank you, RVRM. Yeah, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. I mean, I'm more irritated with it now than anything. I'm like, I just want to get back to normal. I've got some pop-up markets coming up in December, and trying to build up inventory for that, so I know what that headspace is like. If you guys are makers, you know what this time of the year is like. It's kind of crazy. I think I might have enough products, but I'm trying to knock out some more. Good. You'll feel so much better. The gloss for the inside of the ornament, that's good to know. Is that what you guys mean, Sue and Kim? Deco art for the inside? 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. I'm a little worried about bronchitis as a possibility. Keep pumping out as much stuff as you can, Elise. You'll feel so much better. To just know that you've got lots of stuff there. All right. Oh, thank you, MC Stars. 3 weeks. Oh, I hope that you're feeling better. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. That's exciting. Thanks, Angie. Yeah, for the inside. Cool. That's awesome. So there you go. Some really good options. You've got your Deco Art Gloss. You've got your Minwax Polycrylic or your Quick Shine Floor Polish. Lots of options to be able to coat the inside in that glitter. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Awesome, guys. Thanks for sharing those tips. Anybody who's new to my lives, just know that while I'm painting, I can't see the screen on my phone. So what I'll do is I'll paint for a little bit and then I'll pause and come back to the comments. I've got lots of friends here who may end up answering your question before I get back to it, but please know that every time I pause, I scroll back as far as TikTok will let me to try and catch up on anything I've missed. So I just don't want you guys to think that I'm ignoring you if it takes me a while to answer your comment, okay? Please feel free to ask whatever questions that you have. I can't promise I'll have the answer, but I'm happy to give it a shot. And I'm just really, really happy to be sitting and painting again. I've missed this on a deep soul level while I've been trying to recoup from being sick here. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. Oh, thanks, Marilyn. Got to be able to see the rack spurts. Thanks, Nikki. Oh, thanks, Jan. Yeah, all of my links are in my bio for my YouTube, for my website where I sell all of my hand-painted stuff. There's a ton of ornaments and keychains that are on the website. They're going to be coming down off the website come the beginning of December. Once we kind of get to that point where it's really difficult to guarantee delivery in time for the holidays. So kind of keep that in mind. That's the hard part with having to have everything shipped, right? And I'm going to pull kind of whatever is left on my website is going to help me feed that inventory for those pop-ups. I've got 4 pop-ups in December. But we're going to be painting a lot of fun stuff over the next little bit. I've got some really cool stuff that we're going to play with some UV resin with as well. A crap ton of ornaments are sitting on deck to try and get ready for the next couple of weeks anyway. The ornaments, I use multi-surface acrylic paints and they have to air cure so that the paint will stick properly and adhere properly. And they have to air cure for quite a while. Oh, thank you, Sarah, for the tiny diny. That's so cute. Thanks, Chrissy. Thank you, Sarah. That's so sweet. So yeah, kind of keeping the timeline around the holidays makes it a little bit tough when it comes to shipping stuff, but I'm lucky enough that I got some UV resin shipped to me from a company called J Diction. I'm gonna make some videos on how I use it and all of that good stuff. It's the resin that I use to coat my keychains, and I got a new UV lamp. I got a bigger one. So I'm going to be able to do some bigger projects, which I'm really, really excited about. And I think we're going to have to do something else in the middle here. Maybe just a dot. I think that might be good. So when I'm kind of putting this together, I always have my colors. So I go put my colors in order, right? So, and then I try and mimic what I'm going to paint here. So what I'm going to do here is I know I want to start with the purple in the middle, so I just move stuff over. I'm a big fan of picking a color, picking the order, and then just cycling through it over and over again. It makes it fairly easy to keep track of what I'm doing. So we're just going to keep moving through this right now. Oh, that's very kind of you, Nikki. Thank you. Lots and lots and lots of practice. Just follow the joy. To me, this is one of the most meditative and enjoyable things that I can do to pass my time. And the fact that I get to do this as my job. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. And that means I get to spend a lot of time painting though, right? And the more time you spend painting and practice, I promise you, there is zero reason why you can't do this as well. Doesn't mean that there aren't limitations if you have, a lot of pain in your hands or shaking. There's of course limitations that way, but otherwise it's all personal. It's all what you can do, and it's just so much fun. You follow that joy. It's good to see you too, Karen. Thanks for popping in to hang out. Thanks, Kaiwai. Thank you, Vibrant. These ornaments are massive. It's the first time I've ever painted these great big suckers. But Michael's was having a buy one, get one free sale. And I went in to get more of the regular size ornaments and some more glass balls, some colored ones to paint. And I saw these guys and I'm like, holy crap, I need to paint these. They're so fun. So much fun. You paint ceramics. Oh, that's cool. I love ceramics. It always blows me away how you have to be able to see and put the finished piece together, because the color changes so much. Ceramics blow me away. That's so cool. You're heading to sleep, Sarah? Take care of yourself. Sending you lots and lots of love. Oh, thank you, Chickadee. Thanks, Heather. So this is a variation on this design that I did on the small ones. I did two here. They were my favorites. There are downloadable patterns on my website if you want step-by-step instructions for those. And if you're new to the art form, just check out the YouTube channel. That probably is the best place to start. And I've got over 35 free tutorials on there, if that's helpful for you. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Are these for sale? This one isn't yet, but I do have, I'll show you the paw print ones that I do have though, love. I've got this one is available on my website. So is this one. There's multiple. I think I've got 10 or 11 of these and 8 or 9 of these. And then there's also this one in slightly more traditional Christmas colors. So there are a few with paw prints. The big ones, unfortunately, they're not cured yet. So they aren't there. I also have keychains with paw prints on them as well. So I've got this is an example, a sample one. I've got ones like this. The one I have in my shop like this has a different teal design on the other side. And I've got some rainbow ones as well. So there's some ornaments and some keychains there. The link for my website is, if you go through my bio, it's mandalaloveaffair.com. And I am in Canada, so it does take a little while for the packages to get to you, but the sooner you order, the better the chance before Christmas. Painting since you were 9, that's amazing, Nikki. It's healing, isn't it? I'm so glad you have that. Thank you, Ashley. Britt, how the hell are you, my friend? It's so good to see you. Thank you, Stacy. I'm doing a really crappy job at keeping up on these comments. I'm so sorry. So I have the handwriting of a 5-year-old child, honestly, Nikki. That's the hard part. They're already painted. I could do a couple initials on the back, but I cannot promise you that they would be in a beautiful script. Let me grab one of my mugs where I do my signature on the bottom, and I'll give you an idea of what the lettering would look like that I could do, okay? Bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back, you guys. Alright, I grabbed one of my mugs, and this is kind of what the lettering would look like. But I could do something like that on the back of the ornament here. So yes, when you make a purchase on my website, I don't know on the product that it is personalizable, but you guys are here, and so I'll tell you. But I'm happy to do that if this kind of lettering is okay. So when you make a purchase on my website, I believe at checkout, there will be a spot that'll say something like special instructions to seller or message to seller or something like that. And if you put in there what you want on the back of the ornament, I can do that for you for sure. I'm super behind in the comments, you guys. I'm so sorry. Please know I'm not ignoring it. It's just taking me a little while to catch up. I'm so sorry. I also paint a lot of mugs. This is one of the ones that's on there now. Mugs have been the thing for quite a while. Awesome, Kaiwai. You let me know if you have any questions, okay? Oh, thank you so much, Marie. Marie, is it Marie or Maria? I'm sorry, I'm trying to see the background. It's white lettering on a light background. You're in Ontario too, Nikki? Me too. That's awesome. I'm so happy you did too, Marie. I want you guys, I just want to thank you for coming and hanging out. You know, we take a lot of pride in this wonderful little family that we've got going on here. And the only thing that's a requirement to be here is to lead with kindness. Right? Hi, David. It's incredibly therapeutic, eh? What kind of ceramics do you paint? Do you paint do you paint any particular shapes, or is there anything that you prefer? Gave the router a good kick. Good job, David. How you been? Thank you, Sally. Oh, it's so wonderful to hear, Heather. Thank you. No, that writing's okay? Okay, I look at it, I'm like, So I'm glad that you're okay with it. Oh, thanks, guys. You're welcome. Thanks, Chrissy. Vibrant, I use multi-surface acrylic paints. Glass or enamel paints will also work. What you're looking for is you want it to adhere to a non-porous surface. So looking at multi-surface acrylic paints, enamel and or glass paints, they will work as well. Now there is quite a bit of curing time because these paints are normally cured by putting them in the oven, and we obviously can't do that with these plastic ornaments or even the glass ornaments. I wouldn't trust that they would be able to withstand that kind of heat and not get damaged, but that's my own paranoia. Experiments are always a good way to go. But yeah, so also know that what you're looking for then is you're making sure that in the instructions on the back of the bottle, it will actually say that it is excellent adhesion on glass and ceramics. That's what you want to see on your bottles. Multi-purpose and multi-surface are not the same thing. Okay? So no matter what the bottle says, flip it over and look at the instructions and make sure that it says that the paint is suitable for glass and or ceramics, okay? Thanks, Patty. Christmas is fun to paint, eh? Shannon's in Ontario too. That's so cool. Thank you, Candace. I'm so glad you like it. So this is a variation of this pattern. These are my two favorite ornaments that I've done so far. So I knew when I wanted to do the white background, it would be fun to try. So we're making some progress here. You're in Sudbury. Oh, no way. That's so cool. That's far from me. I'm down, I'm about an hour east of Toronto. Oh, I just got paint all over myself. Damn it. Sorry. Hi, Emma. Is it LDM Creations or IDM Creations? Thank you. Oh, and your cat rescue. Oh, that's lovely. Please kiss your fur babies for us. Oh, thank you, Emma. Yes, Heather, these will eventually air dry. Multi-surface is usually a good 21 to 30 days, so a good 3 to 4 weeks to let them fully air cure. So these paints, when they are fully cured, they cure to be top shelf dishwasher safe. So like when I paint a mug with these, I could cure them and put them in the dishwasher on the top shelf. That makes me really paranoid. I still always recommend gentle hand washing just to be safe, but at the same time, they technically do. So air curing them, I hang the ornaments just to dry for the 3 to 4 weeks. So I've kind of got this time limit on my mind right now. I have my final pop-up for the holidays is on December 31st. So, oh, there was a huge paint booger. Look at that. Look at that bugger. My last pop-up is December 23rd. So I'm kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, saying, you know what, the absolute latest I can paint ornaments this year is going to be November the 23rd to make sure that they will be cured in time for that pop-up. But ornaments are only going to be available on my website until December 1st because I want to make sure that they're all fully cured before I put them in the mail. I'm just going to let the comments, if anybody is new to my lives, please know that while I'm painting, I can't see the comments. So I will pause and come back to the comments and catch up. So it might just take me a few minutes to get back. Just please know that I'm not ignoring you. Oh, thank you, Sandra Jane. That's so sweet. No, Darren, these are for multi-surface acrylic paints. It's for painting on glass, plastic, and glass, ceramic, and plastic. If you're painting on things like stone, wood, canvas, that sort of thing, those will be perfectly dry and ready to varnish within 24 hours. It's just because these have to cure differently to make sure that the paint adheres to the surface. I hope that makes sense, though. Let me know if that answers your question, Darren. So regular acrylic paints, if you're painting on stone or wood or canvas, then you wouldn't have to worry about the 30 days. Multi-purpose paints, I don't know what, in my mind, all that means is you can paint on a few different surfaces. They are not meant for painting on non-porous surfaces. So non-porous surface means ceramic, glass, plastic, where the paint can just slide off if it doesn't adhere properly. When you're painting on canvas or wood or stone, they have a little bit of tooth or something there for the paint to grab onto. Whereas with the glass and ceramic, there really isn't anything. So the multi-purpose, I've only ever used just regular acrylic, but I've had people say, hey, I bought multi-purpose and they don't work. That's because multi-purpose and multi-surface are not the same thing. I've personally never used multi-purpose paint that I know of, but I haven't looked for it to even pay attention to it, because as long as it doesn't say multi-surface, then I use it on stone and canvas. I hope that helps. Oh, that's not far at all, Nikki. That's okay. I knew what you meant, Emma. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Barbara. Paint boogers are a royal pain in the butt, especially when you don't see them. Like, at least if you can see them when you're dipping your brush or your tool and you're pulling it out of the paint, then that's one thing. But man, when you go to lay the paint down and that's when you see them, it's infuriating. Thank you, Sugar. I hope that answered your question, though, Emma. Let me bear with me. I have to scroll back and catch up on the comments. Yes, multi-surface and multi-purpose are not the same thing. You want paints that actually say multi-surface. And in order to be 100% sure that you're getting the right paint, read the bottles and make sure the bottles tell you that they're good for ceramic or glass. If the bottles themselves don't say ceramic or glass, it doesn't matter what they're called. Flip it over and read the bottles and make sure they say that they're suitable for the surface that you want to paint on. Hi, Janice. Thank you, Macy. Oh, thanks, Nikki. I appreciate you taking it to look. I'm sure that you could. If I paint on ceramic or glass, I put them in the oven. I wouldn't use a heat gun on a plastic ornament, though. So I've never tried it. That's not an experiment that's felt worthwhile to me. Multi-purpose is not the same as multi-surface. Multi-surface is what you want, but no matter what the bottle says, read the instructions on the back, and it'll tell you if it's suitable for the surface you're painting on. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oh, thank you. User numbers that I can't read there. Yeah, paint bookers can. Okay, so the only thing you need to know when you're painting on glass or ceramics is when you want to turn your bottle over and it needs to say excellent adhesion on glass, ceramics, plastic. Okay, so honestly, what it says on the front of the bottle is completely irrelevant. Turn it around, read the instructions, and if you're painting on plastic, make sure it says that it's suitable for plastic. If you're painting on glass, make sure it says that it's actually good for painting on glass. Just read the instructions on the bottle. This is the part that's important. This is not as important as this. This is the most important thing you can look at. So when you buy the bottles, flip it over and read your instructions. That's very sweet of you. Thank you, Chipmunk. That's the paint used for ceramics. Nice. I use, a lot of Craftsmart. Nope, can't add anything to multi-surface paints. If you thin them down, they won't adhere properly. Now, there is a glass medium that some people have experimented with. I started to experiment with it, but I haven't gotten any final answers on that for myself. But I know that has worked for some people. But I've never needed to with Craftsmart because they're perfectly good right out of the bottle. No need to add anything at all. Emma, did that answer your question? Always read the instructions. Always, always, always read the instructions. But yes, if you have further questions, you can message me on Instagram. Oh, that's sweet, Sam. Thank you so much for that. Oh. That's a yes? Okay. Good, good, good. All right, so now I gotta move these around. And we're going to start on the next chunk of swoops. All right. So here we go. Anybody new to my lives? Hi, my name is Jamie. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. I have been doing this for about 3 years now, and it's my full-time job. And I'm happy. Anything that you order online, we'll put the description that's on the back of the bottle in the product description on their website. A product description on a website will tell you the same information as what's on the back of the bottles. Anything that's on the back of the bottles will be in the product description on if you go to buy them online. Hello, spicy little Italian. Great username. Hi, CJ. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, on Amazon and on the website, like on Michael's website, there will be a description that mirrors what's on the back of the bottle. Oh, Laura. I'm sending love to your friends. The whole reason I started painting paw prints and the whole reason I found painting dot mandalas at all, I was in a really, really bad place after I lost my dog. It was me and him for 5 years. My whole world revolved around him. And so being able to put the paw prints on there is the way for me to kind of have a piece of him in this. And it's, I've got a cat now, so it's a tribute to her as well, but it really is to keep for his memory. And I am absolutely honored that you like them to send to a friend, and I hope that it brings a little peace and love to them. That's so sweet. And it's nice to meet you too, Emma. Thank you. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Marilyn. It's always so hard. Oh, that's so wonderful. It depends on the price and what the colors are in the pack. All depends on what I'm looking for. Most of the time I buy them one at a time just because I buy individual colors one at a time. Thanks, Patty. You rock. Thank you, Crazy ADHD Chick. And thank you, Stevie. It's so nice to meet you guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. The only thing we say is welcome to the family and lead with kindness. We're here to encourage each other. There's room for every single one of us to be doing this. All of the links of everything that I kind of have as far as tutorials and a YouTube channel and a Facebook group, and my website where I sell my stuff. All that stuff is in my bio. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to let me know. Yeah, it depends on the cash flow too. There's a lot of incredible paints that you can get. Yeah, I just haven't done a lot of the bulk stuff. I've got a couple sets of paints that I've ordered in the past, but they weren't multi-surface. But there are a couple sets that I've bought. I know Arteza is incredibly popular in the U.S. It's more expensive here in Canada, so I haven't got them yet. But there's a lot of great different paint sets out there for sure. Thank you, Lorian. Is it Lorian or Laureen? I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. Thank you, Coupon Gita. I think it really depends. It definitely can be more costly, and you can usually get some good deals. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd caution is make sure that in the package it's colors that you actually want to use. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth the money for you, right? So yeah, there's lots of great color combos out there. There's lots of great brands. I love Craftsmart. DecoArt has multi-surface and glass and enamel paints. I'm not a huge fan of Folk Art multi-surface. They're very thick. So if you were going to stay away from one brand, it would be Folk Art. Now, if you're painting on canvas and stone and wood, Folk Art is great because you can use a pouring medium and thin it down a little bit. But they're really, really thick multi-surface paints. So they're the only ones I wouldn't recommend. Oh, thank you, Kim. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you're doing good. Waiting for my brushes in the mail. Yay! So make sure if it's helpful then, if you want to start watching some tutorials, I've got 35 different tutorials on my YouTube channel. And the other thing that I would say is try and absorb as much content from as many different artists as you can. Every person has a different technique. And remember, number one, the reason that you're doing this is because it looks enjoyable, right? That's the whole purpose. The purpose is not to be an expert at it. It's fun to learn and to see your skill develop. Follow that fun. There are no rules. There is no right or wrong way to do any of this. Be okay with experimentation and be totally okay with some experiments really not working out. Even after years, there's lots of times I'll start something and I'll paint it and by the end of it, I'll be very unhappy with it. But there is something to be learned and clarity to be gained in every single thing you experiment with and try. So just get comfortable with practice, okay? Yeah, depends on what you're looking for exactly. Oh, thank you, Kim. Thank you, honeybees. They're so fun, eh? This is a variation on one of my patterns. I have a downloadable pattern on my website for these two different designs. I've got a couple other patterns too for some wraparound Christmas ornament designs, kind of like this, like around the Christmas ornaments that way. So if you're looking for some downloadable patterns to follow, then they are available to be downloaded on my website. Now the thing I would strongly encourage you to do with whether it's my patterns or anybody else's, is play with the color and don't feel like you have to stick to them exactly. Play with them. If following a pattern sparks an idea and go, ooh, I wonder if I could do this. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay? So yeah, for when I'm painting on multi-surface, Craftsmart multi-surface is my number one favorite. I do like DecoArt a bit as well. It does tend to get really hard to mix after it's been sitting for a long time. And then when I'm painting Regular surfaces like canvas, stone, or wood, I am a massive fan of Deco Art Americana paints. Scrolling back, trying to catch up on comments. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm really slow at this today. Thank you, Patty. Thanks, guys, for helping answer questions. It's incredibly meditative, Dora. Yes, that's a really, really good point. This is the kind of thing that you can do where hours disappear. And it helps, for me, it helps quiet my mind, helps slow all of those thoughts that just run away with us sometimes. That I love this art form for that. You can sit down and hours disappear, and it's so incredibly fun. Thank you, Intense Katie. Oh, thank you, honeybees. Thanks, Marilyn. What's the problem with the color pattern, OKJ? So the right paint consistency, what you really want to see is if it's too, are you finding your paint is too thick or too thin? Haven't jumped in. I'm a big fan of painting on stone as a beginner project because the surface is usually fairly good. It can be a little rough. Wood is really good. I wouldn't recommend as a beginner that you start with canvas because the fibers in the canvas fabric itself can be a real pain. And if you're a beginner, there are materials and mediums that you can buy that can alleviate that and make them fun to paint on. But until you're super comfortable, you might not want to spend that money on that, right? So, excuse me. So my recommendation would be stone, wood that you sand wood really, really well. So it's really nice and smooth. That's a good option as well. I have a couple beginner tutorials on my YouTube channel. And the beauty of this is you can use whatever color palette you like. If you don't like my color palette, you can use whatever color palette you want. We're trying to lead with kindness here, OKJ. If you don't like my color palette, you don't have to use it. Super, super simple. I always encourage you guys to paint in the colors that you find inspiring and that make you really happy, regardless of what anybody else says. I hope that helps, Marilyn. Awesome. Yeah, keep me posted if you run into any questions. Thanks, Barb. Super simple, you guys. You don't like my color palette, don't use it, right? And if you do like it, just do what makes you happy. You're doing this for you anyway. Nobody else has to like it. Thank you, Energy Star. I go live about 8 hours a week as well. I put my schedule up on Sundays or Mondays, and I try to remember to pin that post to the top of my TikTok profile. So I go live on my Facebook page, in my Facebook group, on my Instagram page, and here on TikTok. And I kind of move it around a little bit depending on where I want to be. But anytime you want to come and hang out and ask questions, please let me know. You're a rock star, Barb. Okay, so the paint is too thick. So if you are painting with multi-surface acrylic paints, unfortunately, there's a couple different things that you can try. Now, there's been a couple fellow artists that have used glass medium to thin down thick multi-surface acrylic paints. And they've had great success with it. I haven't done my own experiments with that enough yet to feel comfortable, but that is an experiment that you could try. The other way that you can thin down thick multi-surface acrylic paints is, and I do this with my folk art, because folk art multi-surface is very, very thick. I would find a similar color in a thinner brand of paint and use that to mix. That's really only going to help if you want to just use up those paints and not waste them, right? So I've found that the Craftsmart and the DecoArt have been great straight out of the bottle. Now, when it comes to regular acrylic paints and you're not needing to worry about the multi-surface part of it, then what you can use is pouring medium. Okay, multiple brands have different pouring mediums. I use this one. And I just put little drops in and keep stirring it until it gets thin enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you here what I mean by thin enough, okay? So when I'm mixing in these paints, so when you're looking at paints, so I wonder if it's going to show up on that one. It's probably not, is it? Let me grab a brighter color. Okay, these are fairly thick paints, so that's what I wanted to show. So when you stir up your paints, when you pull your tool out, you see how it kind of gets that peak? And see how that paint kind of sinks back in? That peak eventually kind of gets flattened into the rest of the paint, right? It does this self-leveling thing. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. If that peak doesn't go away, then your paint is too thick. And I'm going to show you one that I have that's really thick. This is a folk art multi-surface. So always worth experimenting with other mediums and stuff. Just know that it's an experiment, right? All of it's an experiment. So let's look at this paint, for example. This is a thicker paint, and I'm going to show you. So see when I stir this paint here and I pull the tool out, that peak doesn't really go back into the paint. It just stays there pointy, right? That's how I know it's too thick. So I'd want to add some medium to that to thin that down. Now this is a multi-surface paint, so I would add just a more fluid other brand. I hope that helps. Got that right, honeybees. You're welcome, Intense Katie. DecoArt Americana is my favorite for painting on canvas. Anything other than ceramic, glass, and plastic, DecoArt Americana is my #1 favorite. I am enjoying the folk art matte. They are thicker though, and some of the pouring mediums, if you mix in, if you're head over heels in love with matte finishes like I am, adding a pouring medium to your paint can start to give it a satin or a glossy finish. So just kind of keep that in mind. The folk art matte paints are beautiful as well. And I haven't had any issues with them being too thick. It's really just the multi-surface that have been too thick. That purple's nice, eh? But I'm a huge fan of DecoArt Americana for regular, for sure. Oh, I'm glad that this was helpful. Yeah, don't start on canvas. It has taken me a very long time. It took me a long time to even hear about gesso. And when I heard about it, I'm like, this is bullshit. That's not going to work. But then I tried it. It's a pain in the butt for prepping canvas. You would do a coat of gesso, wait 24 hours, give it a light sanding, do another coat of gesso, and you're doing at least 2 to 3 coats like that. So it's a bit more of a pain in the butt because it's more time consuming. But if you want to paint on canvas, I promise you that it is worth it. We're going to start a new tradition this year, making family ornaments. We're going to try this. Yay! Have so much fun. I've got a bunch of tutorials on my YouTube channel if they're helpful. And I've got some downloadable patterns if that's ever helpful for you as well, Cassandra, that are ornament patterns specifically. But really, any design can be adapted, right? You don't need fancy tools or anything either. I started with crochet hooks. The only tools that I've found have been the ones that are the most invaluable to me are these nail dotting stylus tools. And you can get them online quite a while. You've been watching? Good. Well, let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'm happy to help, okay? And thank you to everybody who's being so patient with my voice. I think I should stop talking for a minute and take a drink. I love matte paint so much. Oh, Noreen, I'm so glad you're here. I was going to email you tonight and let you know that while I'm sick, I can't get to the post office. I'm feeling significantly better today than I have been. This is the most voice I've had in a while. So my goal is to get them to the post office on Monday for you, okay? Yeah, kind of, my voice is betraying me a little bit, isn't it? Thank you for the love, you guys. The first time I tried other paints and I tried to thin them down. Oh, thank you, Noreen. And and I ended up changing them from a matte paint to a satin paint, and I was so mad. I got so mad. Oh, thank you. I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. I'm pointing in the right direction, which feels really, really good. Feels really, really good. I'm at the point now where I'm just super irritated to still be sick. You get to that point where you're like, enough already. I get it. I had a cold. Can I get back to my life now, please? But my body and the universe is quick to remind me that I only have so much say. And sooner or later, I have to listen to my body, right? And that's what this is partly. Body's telling me I needed to rest a bit. Marilyn, sorry if you already said, but do you seal these? Really good question. And no, I don't. And the reason I don't is because I'm using multi-surface paints. These paints technically cure to be top shelf dishwasher safe. So by letting them air dry, they will cure to technically be able to go through the dishwasher. And I obviously don't put them in the dishwasher because they're plastic ornaments and blah, blah, blah. But so I let them air cure, and they've done very, very well to adhere. I tried varnish when I first started doing ornaments a couple years ago, and I have never found a varnish or a method that didn't leave bubbles, clouding, streaks, anything like that. So now the downfall is that these paints take 21 to 30 days to air cure, depending on the brand. So it does mean that you have to work fairly far in advance. Now, if you are painting this to put it on your tree in December, you're going to have the tree up over Christmas. That's going to be part of the curing time. You really want it to be cured before it's going to get wrapped up, shipped anywhere, or stored. Okay? Storing these as well, you want to store them wrapped in parchment paper, because the parchment paper won't stick to the paint. I'm running out of orange. I hope I have enough orange left to to get through the rest of this. You're welcome, Marilyn. Hi, Bree. Thank you. They're so happy, aren't they? We love happy colors. Happy, happy colors. We love happy colors. Not everybody who was here today loved happy colors. That was weird. That was just weird. And thank you, Barb. If you're new to my page and new to my lives, just know that while I'm painting, I can't see the screen. So I try to pause every once in a while to come back and catch up on the comments. And just know that you're welcome. Our goal with this space, and I say our goal because this is a wonderful family that we've been building here, and we all kind of take a lot of pride in it being a safe space where you can come and just show up however you are that particular day. You need some love, you need some encouragement, we're here to give it to you. You want to come and just have a nice quiet space where you can just chill out and relax and enjoy some time, that's good too. The only thing we ever ask is that you lead with kindness and encouragement. Right? That's the most important thing. Everybody's learning. Everybody likes different things and has different preferences. And we want to encourage each other to explore that, whatever that is. Right? It's all about experimentation and enjoy. You guys are my heroes. I love you guys. And it's so important to know that we've got so many great people here who are keeping an eye out and watching out for this community and this family that we're building here. So thank you for that. And we're happy that you're here. Aw, thank you, Carrie. Right, Intense? Very happy. And also at the same time, whatever that person's going through today, I always try to remind myself, hurt people hurt people. Happy people don't have the energy or the time to tear anybody down. Not saying it's okay, not saying it's acceptable, not saying you ever have to put up with it. But for me, remembering that hurt people is what keeps me from investing too much time or energy into whatever anybody says. You know what I mean? So just follow the joy. Have fun with this. Remember that you did this because you want to have fun. Did I miss one? What did I miss? Oh. What did I miss? All right. I'm just noticing that it's kind of cool because the ones that are like how I used the pink here, it was also the pink here. So wherever this little center dot is, it's starting with the same color on the bottom. That's kind of cool. Oh, okay. Okay, good. I miss lots of stuff, so I always appreciate you guys telling me if you see something that I've missed. I miss lots. TM Sassy. That's very sweet. Thank you. Turned and lost it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they all have 4. I think we're all right. But if you see it, let me know, because I don't always see it. But that's good to remember, too, when you guys are painting this. You're gonna miss stuff. You're gonna miss stuff, and it's okay. A whole cluster in the bottom right. Not sure I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. We'll figure it out, though. We'll get there. Like one of the outer clusters? I'm not finished going around yet. Is that why it looks that way? Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. Thank you, Michelle. Right. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's all good. You don't see it either? Okay, good. As long as I'm not the only one, Patty, that's good. That's good to know. Oops. This little tool that I'm using here to kind of move stuff around, it's a puncture tool. I got it in a set at Dollar Tree with another one. There's a puncture tool and a scoring tool. This puncture tool is fantastic for moving paint around and smoothing stuff around. You can also use, I used to use an old sewing pin stuck into the end of a pencil. And that worked really well. Really sharp toothpicks. Anything like that. And like I said, you don't need fancy tools to start this. Anything that is round and either round and pointy, like the ends of paintbrushes, work really well. Like this kind of end of a paintbrush, a nice rounded end, works great. All different sizes you can get them in. Like I said, I started with crochet hooks, drill bits, wooden dowels. Barb actually took some wooden dowels and used a metal pencil sharpener and sharpened them to different sizes. All kinds of different ways to do that. Thank you, Mary. I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. We're going to add a little bit more detail, but then we're almost done. Also, try to pop your bubbles while the paint is still wet. Keep an eye out for bubbles. They can leave little craters. They can leave little craters if they surface while the paint is drying, and they can kind of leave some little dips and stuff. Diana, how did you get started through Amazon on one of their kits? No, I used crochet hooks, and I was watching different tutorials on YouTube. I used to do work with polymer clay, so I already had these tools here that have the metal balls on the end. Amazon does have some great kits. Dot Art Depot is also a great option for tools, and I actually have a coupon code. If you spend $25 or more, especially if you're in the US, spend $25 or more. If you use code Jamie10, it'll get you 10% off. Lydia May is the one who runs Dot Art Depot. She's got a book. She's got stencils, tools, surfaces to paint on, all kinds of awesome stuff there. And the thing that she has that I would highly recommend before anything else is these tools that have these metal balls on the end, the ones that have the silicone brushes. These are really helpful for pulling paint off of surfaces and helping tidy things up. She has sets of these, and then I have a set of the double-ended tools. I had these, like I said, for when I used to do work with polymer clay. So luckily I already had them. But otherwise, there's some great kits on Amazon. Lydia's got great kits. There's Happy Dotting Company has tools, but you don't need to spend a lot of money when you're just getting started. Lydia's got all kinds of tool sets that vary from kind of beginner sets where you don't have to invest a ton of money to more some fancier sets. So I would definitely check them out. And Lydia's got hundreds of tutorials on her YouTube channel as well. She is who I learned from. When I first came across this art form, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours watching Lydia's YouTube channel and just trying to soak up as much as I can. I always recommend observe and learn from as many different artists as you possibly can. Every single person is going to have a slightly different technique. Every single person is going to have different preferences in their paints and different ways that they do things. And it's absolutely invaluable to learn from all of them. Her name is Lydia May. And if you go to dotartdepot.com, but if you look at Lydia May on YouTube, tons and tons of tutorials there as well. So there's lots of options there, but that's who I learned from. Hi Heidi, how you doing? And she's wonderful. There's a ton of incredible artists. Follow a ton. Learn from as many as you can. Learn all the different techniques. And the one thing that I would always say, if you do something and it's a design that's been inspired by one of these artists, or especially if you painted one of their designs while you were practicing, it means so much to the artist that if you tag them and say, look what I did, and I learned this after, and I did this after being inspired by one of Lydia May's paintings or something. It's absolutely, I just can't tell you how much it means to people when you do that. I know, and it's a paw. You've been sick too, Heidi. Oh no. I hope you feel better. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. You're most welcome, Marilyn. Are you feeling any better, Heidi? I love the paw print ones. Thank you for sharing the live. I do know you love my swoops. I love my swoops too. My swoops are my absolute favorite thing. Oh, that's good to know. Thanks for that, Terry. Oh, YouTube's amazing, right? I love it. I love being able to say to people going, you could go and spend $60,000 on a marketing degree at school, or you could learn everything you want from YouTube and be making $60,000 a year by the time you're 19. Like, it's crazy what you can learn there now. And I love that employers and people are starting to understand that, a degree or a diploma just isn't everything. We can learn so much without it. They said that the top 3 search engines in the world are Google, YouTube, and Etsy. Top 3 search engines. Crazy, eh? I don't know if that's true. It makes sense to me because those are the first 3 places most people go. Yeah, the voice is tough because when I try and talk in my normal voice, if I talk too loud, then I start coughing. Thankfully, my throat doesn't hurt. But I just don't want to start coughing, you know. I hope you're feeling better soon. I've had a bunch of people say, so what do you have? I'm like, I don't know. I'm sick. Could be the flu. One of my dad's nurses seems to think that it's RSV. So I've got to be really careful with keeping an eye on my breathing and my lungs and stuff. And to make sure it doesn't turn into anything, right? My biggest fear is making sure that I don't get it. Give it to my mom. I just don't want to give it to my mom, you know. You're getting there. Good. I'm glad. Oh, you had it. Grandbabies gave you RSV. Oh, no. Oh, I hope that you feel better soon. It's some kind of respiratory virus, but I don't understand all of it. Sarah, I fixed my washing machine and everything. Yeah, it's crazy, right? You can do so much. There's so much. All right. Almost done. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, it's been another big thing, along with COVID. Yeah, please take care of yourself. Bear with me, I'm just gonna scroll back. I will, I promise. Yeah, I'm trying to just stay away from my mom, thankfully. She's been a little sick too, but not anything near what I've had, thank God. I can't. Just the thought of that. The hard part is that because I'm sick, neither of us have been able to go see my dad. My dad's in a long-term care home. I live with my mom, I'm her caregiver. But because I'm sick, she can't go see him, and I certainly can't go see him. So it's been a little rough. But hopefully we'll get back to things soon. For almost 2 weeks, Marilyn, prescription didn't work either. I've just been taking Buckley's and stuff, and it's okay, but it's helping a little. Should be color matching. This is where I want to... Okay, so we're going to add in a little bit more here. And then we're almost done. What do you mean, Terry? I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Yeah, it was something that I'd heard of, and people are like, I bet you that's what you've got. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to the doctor. They're just going to tell me to go home, right? Like, Sharon, I am using multi-surface acrylic paints. Most of the ones that I use are Craftsmart multi-surface. All right, so we're going to add in just a little bit of detail in here. No, that's not the right size. It happens. Yeah, there is a bulge there in that. It won't, in this one here, it won't go away because I had to fill in another spot. I've got to put another layer on there soon. Thank you, Jan. It was your eyes? Okay. Oh, yeah. It's the snot. snot will get you. We've talked about that a couple times on here. And you know what? If we could figure out a way to harness the power of snot production, we could probably take over the world. Yep, good eye though, Emma. Yep, you did see that there. It's right there. It's because I had to repair a little spot, so I'm gonna have to do another one. Cleared up, and now you got it again. Oh, Heidi. You guys are awesome helping each other. Thank you. I've been taking the Buckley's tablets, and once they run out, if I need to, I'll definitely be getting the liquids. So once these white dots here dry, I'll put some other color on them, just like I did with those. Well, maybe. I think I actually might just leave them. I think I want a little extra white around the edge. Oh, there's a bubble. I'll show you. I've got another one that I need to put a paw print on. So we'll maybe do that. These huge ornaments are super fun. These are ornaments, though, like I personally won't be buying them unless they're on sale because they're $5.99 each, $4.99 each, $5.99 each. They had a sale where it was at Michael's where it was buy one, get one free. So that's when I grabbed these. I'm like, that's more in my price range that I want to spend. But I can tell you that they are worth every penny, and because this is super friggin' fun to paint one this big. All right, so this is where I want to oh, I like it. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more detail here, and then we'll keep going. The number of times that I put my hand into paint is more often than I would ever care to admit. I wish I could tell you that wasn't just part and parcel with this, but it guaranteed it is. That's why getting comfortable with how to repair and move stuff around, it will happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I was painting a guitar a couple years ago, and I, for some reason, was reaching across it, and it was all wet paint down here. Put my whole arm through it. I had to remove like a 6x8 section and completely redo it. Had to pull all the paint off. I had to sand it down, refinish the background, and do it all over again. It was devastating. I cried that day, for sure. But I can't lie to you and tell you that it's not an inevitability. Buckley's is a cough medicine. Grandbabies stay sick when they... Oh, yeah, totally, right? There's going to be bubbles. Can't get rid of them. If they're already dry, there's nothing I can do. I don't see a bubble in the purple diamond. I only see the bubble on that one. Once the bubble's there, if it's already dry, there's very little you can do about it short of removing the whole thing off of the piece and then redoing it again. And don't worry about that. That's the other thing. We're not striving for perfection here. It's nice to let people know that this was hand painted, right? So little imperfections are one of the way we can do that. Which second white? I don't see what you're seeing. I'm sorry. And again, there's a couple little bubbles. It's not a big deal. What's 98 cents at Walmart? The ornaments? I doubt the big ones are this big, are they? These ones maybe. Are these ones that big? Big ones like that? 98 cents? That's cool. I'll have to check. Yeah, it does. Tastes awful, but it works. Hi, Jill. Oh, thank you, Emma. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jill. Yeah, they're awful. It's awful stuff. But it does. It works. All right. Sorry, I wasn't seeing what you were seeing there, but I'll try and catch what I can. It's not the end of the world if we don't. Remember that we're not striving for perfection. Thought Audrey made a weird noise. Audrey's my cat. She comes in and makes some weird noises every once in a while. It's interesting when I see in the comments that that TikTok is automatically filtering out some comments. That's interesting. Let me scroll back a little here. Oh, that's cool. And they're the flat ones? They're not the huge round ones? They're flat like this? That's really cool. I'll definitely go check it out. Thanks, guys. Hi, Holly. How are you? I'm about an hour east of Toronto, Maryland. Oh, it was the pink one? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Cool, guys. Thank you. I've only seen the big, fully round ones. I've never seen the flat ones, so that's good to know. Kamalas. I'm not saying that right, I'm sure, but thank you. Thank you, Maggie. Thanks, SSR. Yes, I did glitter the inside. So to do the inside, I personally use Quick Shine Floor Polish. Minwax Polycrylic is an incredibly popular material to use for this as well. You pour some into your ornament and you kind of turn it around and coat the insides, drain any excess, pour glitter in, do it again, and then in we go. So I do sell them now. These large ones aren't going to be available on my website this year because they're not going to cure in time for me to be able to mail them out. But I have some smaller ones that are on my website. These are some of the paw print ones that I have. Oops, totally dropped it. So that one. The design I just did was one of these. This one. I've also got ornaments like this, the wraparound designs. And some larger ones as well that don't have the paw prints on there. So yeah, there's a link to my website in my profile. And you can see all the different ones that I've got there on my website. Thanks for asking, Ashley. There's a setting that you do on your end that stops filtering of comments. Oh, good to know. I'll have to have a look and see. Thank you, Bree. Hi, Water Plus Ink. How you doing, love? Oh, you're in Pennsylvania? No way. That's cool. Yeah, we're not that far, eh? Doing okay. Dealing with some health issues. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sending you lots and lots of love, Holly. And thank you for that love, too. You're welcome, Ashley. Heidi, yes, I do. I sure do ship to the U.S. I ship pretty much anywhere in the world. If you do try to check out on my website and it doesn't allow shipping, just shoot me a message. But for everywhere, I think I've got everywhere in the UK and Australia and the US. I think I've got everywhere set up, but I 100% ship to the US. So these big ones, I am going to be doing some pop-up markets at, I've got some of my mugs and some stuff at a store in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. It's called Markets Ontario. There's a bunch of mugs that I have there, and I'm going to be doing some pop-ups over the holidays, so some pop-up markets, and these big guys will be available there. Now, if these don't sell at that pop-up market, I will put them on my website. They just aren't going to they're not going to be cured in time for me to be able to ship them for Christmas. That's the hard part for the big ones. But the little ones and everything that's on my website right now will be available. No, these paints have no odor at all. So I'm thinking on this one, I'm going to put a teal paw print in the middle of this one as well. I think, well, there's part of me that wants to leave it. Maybe we'll still leave that one for a little while. You're not obsolete. You're so sweet. You are not obsolete. Just because you see it once doesn't mean you'll remember it and see it again later, right? So it's lovely. Holy cow, you guys. We're at 6.2 thousand likes tonight. Thank you so much for all the love. That's so sweet. There's no way in hell you guys are ever becoming obsolete. That's not a chance. Not a chance. Oh, yeah, I definitely ship to North Carolina. Now, I can list these and just know that they won't ship until December 15th. But I can list them knowing they won't ship until, this one would ship, these would ship probably December 10th. So I can list these but just knowing that December 10th is, the Postal Service scares the crap out of me. I don't trust it at all. And that's my issue. But that's why I've kind of put some dates on there. However, if you're not super hell-bent that it has to be there for Christmas, or you're willing to take that risk, then I can list them. So let me know what you guys think. If you want me to, what I do is when I list the ornaments in the name of the title of the product, I tell you when it ships. So you'll know 100% upfront when they would ship. So let me know, because I can always put them up, and I figure if I get a couple more done before the 15th, then I could have a couple more on there I only have 4 of these large ones. So I can do a couple more, have them all up there, and just know that if they don't ship till between the 10th and the 15th, then it's kind of a crapshoot, right? Let me know what you think. You send a tropical storm. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Like it the way it is? All right, I'll leave this one without a paw print. We'll leave this one without it. Thanks, Barb. That's the thing too, right? When you're going from Canada to the US, there's so many things that can get in the way that's so frustrating as a seller, right? I'm like, I can have this packed and in the mail to you 3 weeks before Christmas. No problem. But then we're completely held hostage by the Postal Service, right? And that's so frustrating. Renee, I'm using Craft Smart multi-surface acrylic paints for the most part on these ones. Thank you, Michelle. The blue's your favorite. I like the blue one. I haven't set a price yet on the large ones because I just finished painting them. So I apologize. I have no idea the pricing on the big ones yet. I think, well, let me see if I can make that decision right now. How much did I charge for those large glass ones? I think they'll be the same. 42, I believe. 42 Canadian plus shipping. Oh, we got a whole bunch of orders. Thanks, guys. Sue, Renee, and Laura. Oh, yay. That's so exciting. Thanks, guys. And I would just like to say that those orders literally got me to the point where now I know that my bills are paid this month. Anything that I sell over and above what I have now is actually going to help me start getting ahead. And that feels really good. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every single penny means the absolute world to me, because every single time I can see that I've paid my bills for the month, it means I get to keep doing this. So I'm really grateful. And sorry, I was on a mission here. I was looking at products. So let me see. I believe the large, I'm looking, they've taken me about the same amount of time as these ornaments did. So that's where my pricing, I think, is going to be. So let's just double check. Oh my goodness, the internet's terrible today. 37 Canadian plus shipping. Thanks, Patty. That was a good exercise to go through. Just gonna let the comments catch up here. I've had to refresh them. Sorry, guys. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing, lovely? Oh, thank you, Renee. Oh, yeah, it would be good on a white tree, eh? So yeah, so these. Thanks, Jan. Yeah, it's exciting. No, that's the most frustrating part of all of this stuff, right? Is having to deal with systems that we have no ability to control or predict. Thank you, Kat. Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. This is so exciting. Thank you, Intense Katie. No, I won't make any changes to this one. I won't at all. Yeah, have you been sick too, Jennifer? Are you doing okay? I'm on day 9 of this flu, cold, whatever it is. Today I felt the best that I have felt since this all started a week ago. Yesterday was the first time I painted since last Thursday, and after I got off the live yesterday, you guys, I got to tell you, I had a nice little cry because I missed you guys so much, and I missed painting so much, and it was so wonderful to feel like I was getting back to that. You're okay. Good. Thank you, Jan. Christmas decor is so much fun, eh? I love it too. have them listed. I've got to do photography. Noon tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Kat. I hope you're doing well. Oh, really? Lots of ups and downs, Jennifer? I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're doing better now, and hopefully that'll be the end of the roller coaster, eh? All right. What are we going to do now? I say we do some red, green, and gold on this one. And then, yeah, they will be ready to ship December 11th. Yeah, well, December 11th. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I hope so too. No, I don't do any sets. I do have a discount code set up on the website right now that if you buy 3 or more items of anything on my website, 10% off. 10% will be taken off of your total. I do them all individually. But yeah, there is that bit of a Yep, I can do that. My only request would be any requests for stuff like that. I don't normally do it that way, but I can do that this time. For sure. I've done not all white on white, but I've done parts of white on white for sure. And they're beautiful. Because I haven't already announced when these will go on the site, I can do that. Like, for example, before I wouldn't do that with my other ones because I'd been advertising to everybody on my lives for so long when they were going to show up on the site. But because I haven't done that with these, I will do these. I just want to try and be fair as much as possible. But absolutely, I can do that, Patty. Oh, Heidi, thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Thank you. All right, so what colors do we want to do on this one? I will still have to list them on the website, but I'll keep you posted, okay, Patty? I'll let you know when they're there. But we still have to go through the website for it, okay? You're welcome. I haven't done any ornaments that have gold and silver and red on them yet, so I don't sell custom orders. I don't do custom orders. But any of the ornaments that I have, if I have multiples of them on my website, then that discount would kick in for multiples. Fire and ice, that'd be pretty. Hide. Purple, I mean lurking. All right, I gotta see what I already have mixed up here. Because it might take us the next 15 minutes just to mix paint. I use gold, green, and red. I haven't used any silver. Nope, no need to put a clear coat. These are multi-surface acrylic paints. They are left to air cure for 21 to 30 days. And then they don't need any sealer. Oh, you got a keychain, yay. And you just joined the Facebook group. Fantastic, Bree, that's wonderful. They are leaving googly eyes, eh? All right, I gotta try and find some paints. See if I have any purple paints mixed up. I don't know that I do. Okay. I don't know that I have any purple paints ready to go. Let's see. Thank you. I have no idea what PVA glue is. I'm sorry. I have no idea. So that would be an experiment that you would have to go through. Okay, no, I need to mix up purple paints. I don't have any multi-surface purples mixed up. Which means we're not going to get started on that today. We can mix colors right now, but we won't have it ready to actually start painting. No, we'll have to do some mixing because I don't have any made up yet. No, I'm sorry, I've never heard of PVA. Just checking to see if I have. Nope. No. I was hoping to get started on something that I already have the colors mixed up for. And unfortunately, that is not purple. So we will do a... what are we going to do? All right, well then let's mix some paint colors now, and then when I go live tomorrow, I can work on a purple one. Because I only have 10 minutes, and it's going to take some time to find where to get started. And I like to do what people are asking me to do. And I don't like when I don't have things ready to be able to do that. And I won't have time right now. I like to be able to do requests when I can. But yeah, we'll have to mix some stuff. So let's mix. Let's do some mixing. See what we can come up with. And there were multiple requests for purple. So that is where we're going to go. And we'll just get it ready for tomorrow. I'm going to be live on my Instagram tomorrow from 3 to 5 Eastern. If you want to come and hang out. We're going to be signing off here in about 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. And thank you for your orders. I will get them packed up. The items that are ready to ship now, I will have them shipped out on Monday. Otherwise, just know that whatever date was on there, on the items that you purchased, well, that is the day they will get in the mail. So let's see here. So we're going to grab one or two. Okay, we're going to go with more of a plum purple, I think. I've heard that people have tried Mod Podge on the inside of the ornaments and it hasn't lasted over the years. The feedback that I've gotten is that the only thing that manages to keep it in there and keep from getting kind of bald spots in the glitter as the years go by has been the floor polish. Now that's just what I've heard. I have no idea if there's any actual weight to that or not because I haven't tried it myself. But I get a lot of nasty comments from people when they see the quick shine saying that's not going to hold up, that's going to fall apart after a year. And I'm like, well, 3 years later and mine haven't fallen apart yet, but yeah, and like I said, I wanted to do what the request was. There was multiple requests for purple, and I don't want to get started on the red, gold, and green if I'm going to have people tomorrow who want to see that purple, right? So they all these lives feed into each other, unfortunately. Yeah, they are. They're coming to get me. Coming to get me. Now, or I could use, all right, let's get your vote on purples. We've got plum. That needs to be shaken more. But so we've got a plum, or we've got more of, let's actually do this one because we can use other colors to mix in with that. Nope, no time limit on here. I put a time limit on myself that I only come on for 2 hours at a time, especially while I'm sick. Yeah, I usually only go live for a couple hours at a time. I did in September, I did do a couple of what I called marathon lives, where I was live for 6 hours at a time. And I think I'd like to do it again at some point. Now this is folk art paint, so I'm going to be mixing it with some other paints to try and thin it down if I need to. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my stir test. And I can see that that peak of paint doesn't drop. So, no, not you. Do I not have any purple? I don't. Son of a bitch, eh? I don't have any purple that's not folk art. All right. So yeah, I might actually have to go back to doing the red, green, and gold idea because I don't want to use the folk art. And I don't have anything right now to mix it with. Now, and I don't want to do any experiments with the glass medium because I'm so terrified I'm going to spend 2 hours painting an ornament and then have it not work, you know what I mean? So, well, that's a bust. We'll try that a different time, or I'll try a different purple. But I don't have any compatible purples. All of the purples that I do have are more plums. So, unfortunately, we'll have to wait until I go out and get some more compatible purples with this one, because I do like this purple color the best. So, purple is going to have to wait. We'll see what we can do. It's just my maximum. I try to put a limit on all of my lives so that I kind of stick to that. Yeah. Yeah. The issue with the folk art is that it's too thick, right? I have no idea how to turn a plum into something other than a plum, and I prefer not to unless I know how I'm going to mix it. I don't want to try it because I don't want to waste the paint and, to be honest, the time right now. I find that really difficult. Yeah. Oh, you were on one of the 6-hour ones? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, there's no time limit. We can do that. If I'm mixing the thick multi-surface paints, the only thing that I'm comfortable mixing it with is a thinner multi-surface paint to help thin it down. And that's what I don't have, is I don't have a thinner multi-surface paint that I could mix with this and keep it this color. Does that make sense? Yeah, I have no problem mixing the paints. It's what do I have? Like the only other purples I have are plums. And if I'm trying to stay away from the plums, there's no point in starting with this one because I have nothing to mix it with. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense anyway. I have tons of videos on my profile that have my face on it. I don't tend to put my face on my lives. But I've got lots and lots of videos on my profile where my face is there. And there's a picture of me on my profile, on my Instagram page. Tons and tons of places where you can totally see my face. So yeah, just check my profile. And we'll get started again tomorrow. I don't think I have the bandwidth to start mixing color right now and to get ready for tomorrow or to get anything else started, especially when we've only got a couple more minutes left. So I am thrilled to death with this one. Absolutely thrilled to death with how this one turned out. I think it's going to look wonderful on a tree. So Patty, I'll keep you posted, okay, love? I'll get that listing ready for you. And then these two will be all yours, my dear. And then we'll do some more painting tomorrow. We'll get started on this one. I've got some really cool black, these are chalkboard ornaments. I've got some of these to paint. All kinds of fun stuff. I've got some more glass balls that I want to paint in some great colors. So we've got lots and lots and lots of fun ornaments coming up. All of my links are in my profile if you want to look at the downloadable patterns. If you want like step-by-step instructions on how to paint some of these designs. My YouTube channel has a ton of free tutorials on there. All of my hand-painted stuff is there. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, I'll be on my Instagram page going live. And if you're able to come and hang out, I'd love to see ya. And then my schedule for next week, I'll post that on either Sunday or Monday, and I'll pin it to the top of my TikTok profile so that you can easily find where I'm going to be and when over the next little while. Let me just catch up on the comments here. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks, Emma. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. I will. Thank you so much, Intense Katie. I'm ready for bed, I think. I'm going to grab myself something to eat and some Neocitrin and curl up with Miss Audrey and have a good sleep. I hope if you guys please take care of yourselves. I know there's a lot of you that have just gotten better or are under the weather as well, and just going through life. Life is heavy. Please take care of yourself. I think it's just as important that we are as vigilant taking care of ourselves when nothing is going wrong as when it is, right? Let's be a little proactive and just do the best we can to take care of ourselves. And know that I'm sending you tons and tons of love. Thank you for coming and spending so much time with me. I love you guys to bits, and I have missed you so deeply. And it feels so good to be back painting with you guys again. And I can't wait to do more. I love you guys, and we'll see you again very, very soon. You're painting a pair of kids. I can't wait to see Jennifer. You're welcome, Patty. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Heidi. Oh, thanks, Emma. Holy cow, 11.1. Wow, thanks for all the love, you guys. That is so freaking sweet. Thank you. Thanks for that love. We'll see you again very, very soon. Hi, Kim. Thank you. DIY Mandala Stones. Those are some of the tools that I use. Fantastic stuff. Thanks for popping in. All right, you guys, we'll see you soon. Bye.